While we start, please have your smartphone ready. There's going to be an opportunity to interact with the screen in a minute. So my name is Jorim Rademaker, and I'm the founder and CEO of Manual.To. Manual.To is the name of the company. I'll explain a little bit why, but let me start by asking you a question. And it's going to be about love, kind of controversially. But who here in the room loves manuals? Please raise your hand if you love manuals. Oh, there's one or two freaks out here. Thing is, indeed, people generally don't love manuals. They get out of date, they're not available when you need them, they don't contain video, they don't contain pictures, etc., etc. But if I were to ask you a different question, who here in the room has went to YouTube in the last 3 months to find out how to do something? Please raise your hand. Pretty much the whole room raises their hand. And why is that? Because you love watching video, you love YouTube, you love the fact that the content created on YouTube is created by your peers. It's authentic video content, real world, it's available on your smartphone. So building on that, we've actually built Manual.To as like a cross between YouTube and Wikipedia. Very easy to use, very simple, with video and text. And we've designed the process of this knowledge sharing to be super easy. We've designed the heck out of this. When it's easy, it becomes fast. And when it's easy and fast, that's when you drive real product usage and real engagement with your content. That turns out to be the key. And what we do with this technology is we unlock a range of KPIs and benefits for companies, including productivity, quality, competence increase, etc. And we are already doing this for a range of companies across the world. And in the maritime industry, for instance, Boskalis is one of them. But here's where it gets interactive. I would recommend that you now take out your smartphone. I've got one myself here. Everybody has one these days. And you just scan the QR code. Let me do that myself right now. I hope the thing doesn't break because so many people at the same time are getting on there. But what you will see is the instruction on the right in a combination of pictures or video and text. And as you scroll through, you'll see that different parts of video load up. And this is what I mean with the combination of YouTube and Wikipedia. If you haven't got the chance to scan right now, don't worry, there's going to be a later chance. So how do we do this? Well, we're in the business of sharing knowledge, making sure that everybody always has access to the latest know-how. And that involves 3 key steps. It starts with making a manual. Use your smartphone, make a manual in a few minutes, share it as a QR code, and then read it on every single device that you can imagine, including smart glasses, RealWear, HoloLens, you name it. The resulting instruction is instantly translated in over 100 languages. It adapts itself to every device, but also to every language, and to every learning pace. Again, you can have these QR codes on devices. You can have this as human-readable URLs. And if you want to make one, there's a workshop coming. Now, this ties into a couple of trends that we've seen in society. We've seen that people are turning to YouTube to find out how. But at work, they're stuck with these kind of e-learnings or PDFs at best. Often, the reality is even this. They buy a $1 million machine, and they put a Post-it on it. The manual doesn't get used. Imagine the problems that can happen this way. That's what we solve. And if you look at the new generation, and you all work, lots of people here work with the new generation, with students, TikTok is the way they learn. You can joke about it, but this is the reality. Somehow you have to build it into your way of learning, this snackability. So a little bit more about how the product works, and don't worry, I'm not going to bore you, it's going to be fast. You start with making a manual, and again, you can scan this QR code, but you'll see it, you can see a manual like this on how it exactly works. And here's an example. You just go online to an editor environment, you log in with your email and your password, or your single sign-on, or what have you not, and that's it. No app installed, you click on the new instruction, and presto, you started a new instruction. This example you've scanned before was made this way after 2 minutes of training in 15 minutes. So the same thing can be done on a laptop, of course, and once you're done, often in a couple of minutes or hours at most, you're ready to share the instruction, and that can be done as a QR code or URL. It can be a knowledge base, but essentially it's available on every single device in every single language. If you scroll up to the QR code you scanned, you see that you can instantly translate to over 100 languages. And what we've seen is that people learn faster this way. Combining video with text at your pace turns out to be key. Customers have reported 50 to 80% improvement on the training time. And this whole process from digitization over sharing and learning is measured for continuous improvement because it's a cloud-based software. We can easily make reports on who reads what, when, where, what is most popular, and you can use that for continuous improvement, but also for compliance and auditability. When Jack starts on a Monday and works on that engine, has he followed procedure? Of course, that's tracked inside the software. Now, maybe as a final, a little bit about some customers. We have a range of customers, of course. And for them, we do a range of different KPIs, improve the interesting KPIs. Often it's about training speed or the content creation or engagement or quality or support. It kind of depends on a case-by-case basis. A couple of examples. With Tenkate, we've seen that it used to take them 3.5 months on average to train a new employee. Now, with Manual.To, 2 weeks. That's an 86% reduction in training time. And that becomes important as companies are struggling to find staff, train staff, and when that staff is often even multilingual. Often they don't speak Dutch or English. And it goes on and on. So Big Artesley, a multinational, they have about 29 locations worldwide. With Manual.To, they discovered that finally they could standardize those ways of working because the people on the job, on the floor, they actually love to use the product. And that's why I go back to love. If your people on the floor don't love the change or the technology that you bring them, it's not going to get used. So you need to think about empowerment, and that's also what they did. So they got these results after a study of a pilot study. They've seen that the engagement rates went up, but the biggest saving for them, millions in waste in the production line saved. So it goes on and on. This company, for instance, Steelworks company, they discovered that before they used Manual.To, there were specific tasks that only 1% of the population could do. Now, 80% of the people can do it without building up tens of years of experience. Sometimes it's just when you have 250 field technicians, this company saves 5% on their operational expenses. It gets so much more efficient if every single employee knows how to do their job. Volvo, worldwide company, they needed to train a multilingual global staff. The time it takes to produce the training has been reduced from a couple of months to a couple of days. In a fast-changing environment, that's very important. Another company, Recticel, what surprised them was that people on the shop floor, they actually love to spontaneously start collaborating. As teachers, wouldn't you love it if your students were to, try and complement your courses, were to say, hey, actually, I want to join, I want to build some course material myself. I've seen that this also works on the shop floor. People love contributing. People love feeling empowered. So I'm going to not maybe go through all the slides, all the examples, but come and reach us afterwards. We've got all of these examples we can explain in detail. But that's Manual.To. Making sure that you instantly know how to do your job. Come reach us afterwards. My name is Jorim. My colleague Koen is sitting there as well. Happy to talk more about what we can do for you.
Thank you very much. Great. So, one or two questions?
Oh.
You know, you guys have to think about really much what you're doing with your Mentimeter afterwards, so this is the time. Huh? No? All good? What about costs? Is that?
Yeah, we have a per-user model with companies, and that's largely depending on your usage. So how many people you put on the platform, that is largely the factor that determines your cost.
I've got a question. Yes, you?
Yeah, you can. Lots of often the quality department is the first department within a company that starts, but it's used in a variety of cases: training, onboarding, quality, procedures, lots of different things. So even software guides and software instructions.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, sorry, one last question here in the front.
I have one more question. When employees start making their own instructions, how do you control the quality of
Of course, yeah. So on YouTube, you see that there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
So if you just give everybody free reins and let them mess about, they'll do the same. Of course, you need a quality control system, and that's embedded in our software. So every single employee has the opportunity to create something, but not necessarily to publish this across the entire organization. There's an approval process that needs to be followed with certain people who are in charge of quality, maintaining that quality.
Yep, interesting. And you're like making your approach into the maritime sector?
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now, and it's why we're here.
Yeah, cool. And as a submarine captain, you know, connectability is the biggest problem.
Yeah, connectivity is an issue, and we know that that's an issue in the maritime sector as well. But that's becoming decreasingly so, luckily. Now I'm sure that in submarines down there, you'll need your own server inside the submarine to host that content, and we can work on that together. But right now, our software is cloud-based predominantly.
Yep. Yeah, so connectability is the thing. Thank you very much for the speech.
You're welcome.
Give a big hand for
Cheers.